think the turning point was when we got a turnover and then we didn't execute on offense and they got the ball right back and drove it 87 yards or however far it was. As an offense, we have to end the game right there, and we didn't.
George Kittle summing it up after the game, and that was the moment in the fourth quarter when the second Patrick Mahomes interception gave the 49ers the ball with 11:57 to play and a 10-point lead, and they had the ball, and the drive started off in spectacular fashion, as we discussed in the last segment. 2 plays, 18 yards. Here we go. This one's over. And, Chris, when that interception happens, like, this one's over. It's over. Most people, even the most ardent Chiefs fan, had to look at that and say it's over. And then it wasn't. And we talked earlier about 2-3 jet ship wasp, that play that popped it. And really, before that play, before that 44-yard gain, the long throw from Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill, before that, it just felt like the Chiefs were destined to lose.
Yes.
And it all changed. The vibe changed in that one moment. And you talk about that Seattle defense and how you can beat that cover 3 zone. And they set them up. That's how Peter King explains it Football Morning in America.
Right.
Same play in the first half. They ran it again in the second half. Reminds me of that Brandon Cooks non-touchdown last year. Remember that?
Yeah, right.
They ran it again in the second half, and it popped wide open, but Jared Goff saw him too late. Patrick Mahomes saw Tyreek Hill just in time, got the ball there. Jimmy Ward didn't get over in time after Hill unexpectedly broke to the outside. And that changed everything.
Yeah, well, they're, like we talked about in the first hour, greatest show on turf. I hear, they're like the Golden State Warriors. I get it, because once they see the ball go through the hoop, it's just like, uh-oh, here we go. Guys are wide open. Mahomes, it doesn't matter if anybody's open or not. They all look wide open, and he just starts throwing rifles all over the field. And that play on 3rd and 15, I did think, of course, gave them confidence and jump-started the rally. But then for the defense to make the big stop, as we talked about a little bit earlier, where Chris Jones comes up with the big batted pass on 2nd and 5, and then right back into their hands again, Mahomes and company with the hot hand, and it took, 2 plays and the great throw to Sammy Watkins down the sideline, and you just went, whoop, this is what we've seen all playoffs. Here we go. They're on fire. It took all day in the Super Bowl, but they finally got it, and they got it to the point where the 49ers, their defense was on the field a good amount. They're not used to playing that way because Andy Reid was actually patient with running the football and pretty patient with the short passing game, and the pass rush of the 49ers was exhausted too. He wore them out. I didn't think he could wear this defense out. He did it. He did it again, and that's where he's off the charts good. It's just I've never seen anything like it. He's got a chance to be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. His talent, his composure, all of it just is through the roof, and that's why the Chiefs are Super Bowl champs, because I just don't know if there's another quarterback in football that could have done what Patrick Mahomes did yesterday. That was hard work. They didn't play bad defense. It's just Mahomes made plays, escaped sacks. I mean, made little 4- and 5-yard completions where I'm going to go, ooh. I mean, just great job adjusting your arm angle or breaking an arm tackle instead of getting sacked to make the drive keep going along. Like this play right here. Oh, yeah, that's only Nick Bosa on your back grabbing you. Yeah, just throw a jump hook in there to Travis Kelce. Oh, now, the pocket's good. Oh, I got a good beat on the line of scrimmage with Sammy Watkins. Bam, right on the money. I mean, he's just amazing, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Hey, one of the examples we used last week, the idea that the San Francisco defensive line was going to feel like Rocky and Rocky 2 chasing the chicken before he got into shape. That's what they felt like. They couldn't track him down. That was one of the keys to the game. If they could get to him, remember we say he never stands still. He's always moving. You can't get a beat on him. You can't get that heat lock on the jet in Top Gun before you release the missile. They couldn't do it.
Right.
They got to him a couple times, but not consistently like they have to every quarterback they've beaten this year.
No, that's it, Mike. And, I'm glad you brought this up because this is another thing you talked about the last 2 weeks or the last 2 games with San Francisco, and you really pounded the table with Aaron Rodgers. And you were right, man. You were right. You were right yesterday. They moved him a lot. That is something, we can't forget this a little bit. We're going to lose this in the context of the game and all the big plays. But Andy Reid and some of the game plan design plays to get on the edge or just give misdirection, the 4th and 1 plays, the 3rd and 1 plays, None of it was like, oh, we're just going to run right at you, right? And run up the middle. Because he went like, screw that. Have you seen their D-line? They have 2 tree trunks in the middle, D Ford and Nick Bosa on the edge. Why would we run at them? Let's fake running at them and then get on the edge and let Mahomes run, option pitches or keep the ball for a touchdown. He used their aggressiveness against them by moving Mahomes and ultimately wore them out and kept the clock running and really did a lot of the things the 49ers have done to people all year long and kind of threw it back in their face and played the same style of football. And that's where Andy Reid, all the years we talk about being an offensive genius, bam, Andy Reid, good for you. You came through. It was unbelievable. And it's because of his game planning, really, that got them off to a good start and got their team at least a little cushion early on to where, it left them in a spot to where they could come back later on.
And even then, we needed that explosion that we have seen from the Chiefs from time to time within the context of one quarter. Usually it's like the second quarter. We had yet to see them wake up so dramatically with the game on the line. Like it was, they were down 24-0 in the second quarter against the Texans, and they led by halftime. They were down 10 points twice in the second quarter of the game against the Titans, and they led by halftime. This time around, it had a different vibe. We all fell for it. We were all set up for it. We didn't see it coming. We know what they're capable of, but we did not think they'd be able to do it. And I don't know what happened to the 49ers psychologically, whether they maybe just slid their foot off the gas just a little bit, which you can't do against the Chiefs. Or maybe it didn't matter. Maybe it was going to happen no matter what the 49ers did. But it is amazing to see how that offense can just explode at a moment's notice, which means they are in every game, Chris, no matter how far behind they are. I thought a 10-point lead for the 49ers, second half, no way in hell Chiefs are going to overcome it. And they made it look easy.
Well, it's the greatest quarterback in the game with a really good pass-protecting O-line that pass-protected just good enough to not let the 49ers' great D-line ruin the game. And then, hey, I heard Troy Aikman say it last night. I know you and I have said this 50 times during the season. When the Chiefs have Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and Sammy Watkins all healthy, it's just hard to match up and cover all 3 of them, especially with that guy pulling the trigger in the back end, number 15. It's just hard. It's just it's almost like a force of nature where you just go, it's been good and we're slowing them down, but man, it only takes one of these guys to make a play or two, and it just sets them on fire. And that's where I just don't remember ever seeing an offense, in NFL football really play like it is like a basketball team in a lot of ways, where they can make a 15, a 20-point run in a game, and you just go, how? Why? They weren't even really dominating this game or controlling the football game, and then all of a sudden they swing the momentum their direction, and they're like a different team, and you go, whoa, this is the best team in football. They're unstoppable. And when they do that, they are, and that's why they won the Super Bowl.
You asked during the break what the breakdown was of Chiefs fans and 49ers fans, and there were at least 75% Chiefs fans.
Sounds like it.
Down from the press box at the Chiefs end zone, the yellow end zone with the Chiefs logo and name there, that's where it felt like there was the biggest cluster, like where it got the loudest. But all the action of the game was at the other end. Like all the scoring, it seemed like, was at the far end of the field. It never really got to the point where the Chiefs could take advantage of that noise. But as the game was moving toward a conclusion, and the 49ers had the ball. It started on their own 15. Richie James Jr. brought the ball out, got tackled at the 15 on the kick return. The 49ers moved 36 yards, and they had a 1st and 10 on the Kansas City 49. And I'm texting my son because they're sitting right below me. It's like, here, we're going to see, we may see the 49ers win this thing right in front of us. And, Chris, 3rd and 10. Now, I haven't seen a replay of it, because so much has been happening in the game. The Chiefs get the ball back. And,
we didn't get to this yet.
But look, 3rd and 10, Emmanuel Sanders was open.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Emmanuel Sanders is open. And this isn't quite as glaring as Jared Goff missing Brandon Cooks last year, but the best quarterbacks on the planet make that throw. That's a championship moment throw. Can you imagine how we would be talking about Jimmy Garoppolo today if he delivered in that spot with Emmanuel Sanders open enough, not wide open, but open enough that, and he put a little too much on it. That's a second quarter overthrow where you don't want to take a chance of an interception.
That's right.
With the Super Bowl on the line, you got to take a little bit off of that and run the risk that maybe it gets picked off.
Well, it's something we don't see from them a lot. That's not one of their bread and butters, really, the deep pass, right? I mean, think about the throws we saw yesterday from Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, as I've said a lot of times on the show, it's over the middle, it's over the middle, it's over the middle.
Here it is. Here it is.
There it is. I mean, yes, Patrick Mahomes is going to hit that. You know, listen, I don't know what else to say. Yes, this is Jimmy Garoppolo's really good, but he's not a superstar. And throwing the deep ball and this formula has not been one of the go-to things for the 49ers all year long anyways. But it came down to finally Kansas City got the game into and we've heard some of their players comment about this past week, especially Frank Clark. We're going to try to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat us. It took them almost the whole game to finally get them to have to play that style of football, but they finally got it there within the last 2.5 drives of the game. And yes, Garoppolo and the drop-back pass game could not win it for the San Francisco 49ers. And you're right, that was a big moment. Hey, he hits that.
All right,
he probably scores, but there was going to be 1:40 left with Mahomes having the ball. So that doesn't mean they were going to win the game either. I'm never going to say that with Mahomes.
Let me ask, because I tell you, as that play was unfolding, I'm saying, and I'm not saying there are 10 quarterbacks that can make that throw. There's maybe 3 or 4. But Jimmy G's not one of them. And Chris, I got to take a break here, but something to ponder. And I kind of saw this coming. At some point in the postseason, this question was going to come up. And if I'm a 49ers fan, this morning, I'm saying we can upgrade at quarterback. I'm saying this guy's our weak link. Am I wrong?
No, well, I'm not saying, I don't know. I don't agree with that. Are we going to commercial or not? Because this is a deep conversation. We got to get back into this. Where are we going to go?
Let's put a pin in that one.
Okay, let's put a pin in it.
We'll put a pin in that one.
All right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.